Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hey guys, original link to the video, top of the description. Or original link to the video, top of the description. Sorry. Why is Belgium a country? I'm trying to get to, I want to get at least one. It doesn't have to be so thorough, you know, this is fine. I'll let you 11-minute video of just the basic history of most countries in Europe and just, I want to learn, okay? That's what I'm trying to do here. And I want to broaden past just the countries I've been learning about. Starting with Belgium. Let's go. Preemptive like. Frickin'.
That claims 3 official languages and is tightly packed between Germany, France, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. Belgium stands as
Sorry, let's go. Frickin' fly thing.
a country that claims 3 official languages and is tightly packed between Germany, France, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. Belgium stands as its own independent kingdom and has since 1830. But with such a mixture of culture, language, and ethnicity within its borders, how did Belgium become a separate nation? First,
It is strange.
it is worthwhile to consider the name Belgium. Back in the times of Julius Caesar, the Romans were able to capture Gaul, which was split into 3 regions: Gallia Celtica, Gallia Belgica, and Gallia Quitania. When the Romans took Gallia Belgica in 57 BC, the people inhabiting the region were known as the Belgae. Whether these Belgae people were of Germanic or even Celtic origin is actually still up for debate. There are even some scholars who believe that the Belgae themselves were not quite sure of their own origins, and they drew the particular attention of Julius Caesar due to their noticeably different traditions and language as compared to the surrounding Celtic and Germanic tribes. The Belgae people are also known to have attempted multiple uprisings while under the hand of the Roman Empire.
I'm already surprised we're going back this far. I know, yeah, sorry.
Though to have attempted multiple uprisings while under the hand of the Roman Empire, though none were successful, and eventually the Romans did lose control of the region, but only to the Germanic Franks in 486 CE. From there, Gaul was dominated by a rotation of conquerors, including the Holy Roman Empire, which had a gradual rise and fall in what is now Belgium. Through this time, Gaul as a whole was split into a handful of small feudal states, such as Flanders and the Duchy of Limburg. The borders of today's Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands were created after what was known as the Dutch Revolt in 1566. After King Philip II of Spain, a Habsburg monarch, gains dominion over the region, he began what the Dutch people considered to be a tyrannical rule.
He said 1656, right?
King Philip II, known as the Dutch Revolt in 1566.
1566.
The region, he began what the Dutch people considered to be a tyrannical rule. One pillar of King Philip's rule was his determination to strengthen the Catholic Church throughout his kingdom.
So this is like peak, like the mid 1500s, late 1500s is sort of peak Spanish Empire, right? Or is it more in the 1600s?
Response to growing determination to
You know, like when they had, you know, Naples, you know, southern Italy, all the New World holdings, the Philippines.
in the Catholic Church. One pillar of King Philip's rule was his determination to strengthen the Catholic Church throughout his kingdom in response to growing Protestantism across the continent. After Luxembourg and Belgium became known as the Spanish Netherlands, with the capital at Brussels, Protestants were subsequently expelled from the territory in 1585. The Spanish Netherlands remained a part of Habsburg Spain until the start of the 1700s, at which point the area was passed between the French, the British, the Dutch, the Holy Roman, expelled from the territory in 1585. The Spanish Netherlands remained a part of Habsburg Spain. capital at Brussels, Protestants were subsequently expelled from the territory in 1585. The Spanish Netherlands remained a part of Habsburg Spain until the start of the 1700s, at which point the area was passed between the French, the British, the Dutch, the Holy Roman Empire, and the Austrian Habsburgs. After the fall from grace of the powerful Napoleon Bonaparte, Europe came together for the Congress of Vienna, chaired by Austrian statesman Clemens von Metternich, lasting from November 1814 to June of 1815. With the Napoleonic and French Revolutionary Wars stirring up some unignorable issues within the continent, it was necessary for the neighboring nations to all come together to create what they hoped would be a long-term peace plan. One result of the Congress of Vienna was the uniting of the Netherlands, creating the new Kingdom of the Netherlands, which included modern-day Belgium. Belgium remained a part of the Kingdom of Netherlands until it eventually seceded in 1830. The move toward independence within Belgium really began after the unification of southern and northern Netherlands. The coalition under King William I was beneficial for only some members of...
Who's the Congo guy? Leopold. He was the second, right? So Leopold the First. Was there really ever a Belgian empire? I guess if you have an overseas territory, you're technically an empire. That's a good question. What makes an empire an empire? Sorry, okay.
The coalition under King William I was beneficial for only some members of the Belgian state, as well as growing disapproval from the Catholics of the new Protestant king, which led to the start of protests. Many considered King William to be despotic, and the working class was vastly unhappy with the increasing levels of unemployment. As unrest mounted, the Catholics and liberals of the state joined forces to create a series of demands and an alliance known as Unionism. Finally, on August 25, 1830, tensions boiled over. The capital of the nation became the center point of rebellion. In a fittingly theatrical way, protests and riots broke out around the premiere of the La Muette de Portici opera, which had previously been banned after inciting other nationalist movements across the border in France only a month prior. The protests at the opera began first in the form of patriotic posters placed inside that demanded a rebellion, but quickly escalated into looting and rioting throughout Brussels. As word spread, so did the nationalist and revolutionary spirit. More riots and protests broke out in the surrounding cities, causing King William to send troops into the southern provinces in an attempt to subdue the uprising. Dissatisfied with anything other than independence and freedom from the Dutch, the Belgians refused to back down. By September 27th, only a month and 2 days following the start of the revolt, King William's troops were forced to withdraw. It finally came time for Belgium to officially declare their independence and separation from the northern Netherlands, which put immediate pressure on the European powers that had previously gathered for the Congress of Vienna to take action. King William chose to refrain from any further military endeavors to their independence and separation from the northern Netherlands, which put immediate pressure on the European powers that had previously gathered for the Congress of Vienna to take action. King William chose to refrain from any further military endeavors to retake the nation, and the Conference of London was held starting December 20th, 1830. Austria, Britain, France, Prussia, and Russia all participated in the conference and resolved to multilaterally recognize the independence of the Kingdom of Belgium, which was now formally seceded from the Kingdom of the Netherlands. One of the rejected suggestions before the conclusion of the conference was proposed by the French, who recommended that Belgium be split based upon the language and ethnic lines within the nation. Labeled as the Talleyrand Partition Plan, it was obviously never pushed forward, but it did demonstrate from the start of the country just how diverse the nation was in terms of culture and ethnicity. While the French peacefully gave up their suggestion, the Dutch were not so willing to compromise. compromise for some time. In 1831, they launched an invasion into Belgium, triggered by their strong opposition to the concept of an independent Belgian state. This last-ditch attempt to reassert dominance became known as the 10 Days Campaign, lasting from August 2nd through the 12th, and incited French support for the Belgians. Luckily for the new nation, the Dutch proved unsuccessful in their military strike, and finally, 8 years later, recognized the Kingdom of Belgium as an independent country in 1839. At the start of Belgium's freedom from the North, a
what year?
1839. At the start of Belgium's freedom from the North, a national congress was created in order to establish a constitution for the country. Chosen by an electorate of 30,000 men qualified for such a job, the National Congress of Belgium instituted the Belgian Constitution on February 7th of 1831. This new constitution declared Belgium to be a popular constitutional monarchy, yet no king had yet been chosen. Determined not to crown a monarch from the Dutch House of Orange-Nassau, the National Congress first considered a lineup of 3 French prospects, and Leopold I of the Saxe-Coburg House. Leopold was dropped from consideration for some time due to influence from the French, but was eventually reconsidered. On April 22nd, 1831, Leopold I was officially offered the throne. He was initially unsure of the proposal, but ultimately changed his tune and was joyously welcomed by the people of Belgium. Taking his oath on July 22nd, 1813, Leopold was formally inaugurated as the King of Belgium, and the revolution came to an end in full. This date is now celebrated annually as a Belgian national holiday.
So the big bearded Leopold is his son.
King Leopold, as well as his son, King Leopold II after him,
There
were
he is.
focused on solidifying the nation's economic independence and engaging in colonial voyages. The latter of the two found significant triumph in these endeavors, even possessing a strong position in the 1884 Conference of Berlin and becoming the head of state of the Congo in 1885. Congo later came under the dominion of
I heard even compared to other contemporary colonizing efforts, I heard that this one was particularly brutal. Let me know if I'm wrong about that.
Belgian state in 1908, and the nation was fairly smooth sailing until World War I broke out. Germany, who had previously signed the Treaty of London back in April of 1839, breached the agreement, which established a permanent neutrality for Belgium by invading the country in 1914, after the German Chancellor referred to the prior deal as just a scrap of paper. Though Belgium, under the command of King Albert I by this point, was sorely unequipped to truly match the Germans' army, they did manage to hold off the invasion to a certain extent. The Germans caused massive destruction to the Yser region, but were unsuccessful in pushing past the river. Still,
Guys, I always have extra admiration for Belgium and the Netherlands, who, with the UK being the English Channel, separating them from mainland Europe, and even more so the USA having the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, and then very weak neighbors in, that hemisphere in that North and South America. It's so easy to kind of, knowing you're in a position where even with your allies being powerful, you are at the mercy of Germany until then, and still fighting and and still putting up a fight like I know they did in World War II, the Netherlands. I'm not sure about Belgium. Maybe they did in World War II as well. But it's so much more admirable when a country who is clearly with the gun pointed to their face right there and fighting back towards a more powerful enemy.
the damage done during the war was not non-existent. Additionally, Germany
Oh, he was talking about World War II.
ignored Belgium.
Sorry, I'm an idiot. Sorry. Yeah, my point still stands, but obviously Belgium did stand up to Germany World War II.
During the war was not non-existent. Additionally, Germany ignored Belgium's neutrality once again as World War II rolled around, and the reigning monarch, King Leopold III, chose to capitulate after
Jesus Christ. I need to stop talking and just listen. I went back and forth there. Like, oh, wait, no, they were. They weren't. They weren't. They were. Sorry. So they did stand up World War I and not so much World War II. But again, criticizing a surrender of a country on the border of a power just getting ready to go, like Germany, is so much more difficult, obviously, than if you have some water in between.
18 days of German assaults. This decision sparked controversy within the Belgian borders, and Leopold eventually abdicated to his son, Baudouin I, in 1951. After the wars, Belgium was eventually transformed into a more secure state as political and governmental stances shifted. While movements pushing for a reunification between Belgium and the Netherlands did exist, even beginning back in 1830 at the birth of the nation, disapproval of independence never reached a high enough level for action to be taken, aside from a ban of any Orangism or reunification expressions in the public sphere, which could incite hefty penalties dished out in 1834. Today, the Kingdom of Belgium remains its own country, despite hosting a mixture of cultural, ethnic, and linguistic influences from its neighbors. Still, as of 2018 and determined by birthplace, a whopping 88.1% of Belgium's population are actually Belgian, and the country is an important member of the European Union.
Like the capital country of the EU. Cynocephaly? What was I going to say? Oh, the point about it being linguistically diverse, when you think about it, that's sort of rare, and it's surprising. Maybe outside of Africa, I'm sure there are a lot of languages inside of many countries that are in Africa that are prominent within that country. But I mean, you have Canada with Quebec being French. I mean, the new world, you know, North and South America is really just Spanish, English. That's it. And some French and Portuguese. Sorry, Brazil. Like 200 million people right there. Wait, how many people are in Brazil? ADD. I can't stop talking. Really cool video. Hope you guys are all doing well, and I'd appreciate any answers to my questions, any comments in general. Would really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.